Hiya, Recovery Jim here. I did a little 2 minute video there, and then it kind of, the camera just went off on me, so I'm not sure really what happened there. I may have to stitch it on to the beginning of this or not, but I'm not going to go into too much about it. Basically, what I was talking about is we had our first face-to-face meeting last night, and it was fantastic. You know, it was good to see everyone again. And we do the back to basics of the 12 steps in our meetings on a Monday night at CA, and it's really helpful. You know, we go through the basic text of it, and you know, it's a 4-week kind of program, and then we repeat, and so we're back to step one again. Now, step one is all about surrender, acceptance that you yourself is a hopeless case. You're powerless towards your drug of choice, mine being alcohol, and that you need help to get out of it. Now, I know there's probably thousands of people out there that can and have done in getting themselves clean and sober without the aid of, you know, meetings or anything else, you know. But I'm afraid I'm not one of them people. I do need help. You know, I guess weaker than them. But you know, I'm not ashamed to admit it, that I do need meetings, and I do need, you know, help on that. So essentially, I was hopeless, was an absolute mess, and I surrendered. And it took a long while, you know, with help with my sponsor, to kind of realise that my life was unmanageable. It was just completely torn apart by alcohol, and I suppose drugs to an extent in my past. But any type of alcohol, you know, I would just get the phenomenon of cravings and not know when to stop, and that just became a vicious cycle, because it got to the point where I was waking up in the morning before even opening my eyes and reaching for a bottle, and that would make me feel better. That would kind of make me, I called it my sober level. I wasn't sober, but it made me feel like I could function as a human being. And then obviously I would drink more and more and more until I got, you know, comatose, pass out, and then start again. And that's not a life. That's not a way to live. So yeah, my life was completely unmanageable. I was just in a complete mess, ruining lives around me. So with help of my sponsor, I came to surrender myself to the fact that I needed help, that I needed a way out, I needed a new way of life, a new way of thinking, and the acceptance of that. The acceptance to me is that I can never have an alcoholic beverage ever again in my life. You know what? It's not the worst thing in the world. I know a lot of people do struggle with that, and I struggled with that at the beginning. I was like, oh yeah, you know, I'll quit for a while and then I'll be okay, and then I'll be able to handle it again. Now, how many times have I done that? Umpteen times, loads of times, and it doesn't work. It can't work, because I end up right back where I started. And I know that, you know, if I do it again, it's probably going to be the last time, because my family won't be there for me, my loved ones won't be there for me, because I'll be in proper dire straits, you know, if it doesn't kill me, which it probably will do as well. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's not a choice. You know, I mean, I'm making the choice never to have a drink again, but I need to remember that it's not something that I want to do. It's not something that I can ever see myself doing again. But, you know, never say never, because that's life. And as we say, one day at a time. So I think that when you come to have acceptance and surrender, it's like a weight being lifted off your shoulders. It really is the start of the beginning of the rest of your life as a sober person, you know. And don't get me wrong, I spoke about this last night, don't get me wrong, it's not as if us addicts and alcoholics can't stand the drugs or the alcohol or this, that and the other. Far from it. You know, if there was a magic pill out there that meant that I could go out tonight and get completely fucked and then tomorrow would be okay, and the next day would be okay, and then I could do that once in a blue moon, take the magic pill, and I would have no cravings, I would have no withdrawal. Fuck, man, we'd be all doing it all the time, but that's not the case for us. We fucking love it, and it's bad because we have to continue each day saying no to something that we love, and we know it's bad, we know it's horrible, we know it's killing us, but it's still in our brains that it's something we absolutely love. Now that is, I was also thinking about Bill W., one of the co-founders of AA, on his deathbed. Now I've not actually found out if he did, but he did ask for a drink on his deathbed. Now I don't know if someone gave it to him or what happened, but he did ask, because so that was like, I think, nearly 40 years. He got sober in 39 or 38, something like that, and he died in 76. So yeah, like 40 odd years, and he still wanted to drink at the end, even though he'd founded AA and this, that, and the other. So yeah, so it's always still there. It's always still in our heads. We always think, and that's the problem. That's when people slip, because it's in their heads and they think this one time it'll be okay, and it never is. It never is. We need to take that side that is the love of something, and this side, which is every day of the rest of your life, and keep them apart. And when they get together, it's all bets are off. So yeah, so step one I've done. As I do the steps, I will do a little video just to talk about what I've done and how I've got there. But I've smashed step one. My sponsors said, yeah, we've done that, and that is basically surrendering to the fact that you're powerless towards this disease, affliction, horrible way of life, slowest form of suicide, all of these things. So for me, I surrender each morning. I wake up each morning. Now I wouldn't call it prayer, but I call it kind of meditation, but also doing my recovery gym Instagram picture that I then share on Twitter. That to me is my kind of meditation. That's my form of self-surrender, because it reminds me every day that I am a hopeless case, and that if I drink again, I think we get cut off there. I had some storage memory issues or something, so I was talking about meditation and doing my pictures, and yeah, I do meditate in the evenings, just because it's a better way of living, and it helps me, really to focus and have a better day the next day. So yeah, it's just a better way of living. And I think, for me, I was talking to someone this morning about I've put about my life, and I've put the keys in the ignition, and I'm turning it, and I can feel it. I can feel the car and hear it kind of going brr. The engine's about to kick, but it's not quite kicking yet. It sounds healthy. It's about to, but it's not quite done it. That split second before you turn it, when you turn the key, and the engine's about to fire up, and that for me is where I'm kind of at. I'm laying the bricks, I'm laying the foundations, I'm putting the cement in, I'm setting everything going, and it's on. I'm on the right path, but it's not quite kicked in yet. My life hasn't really just kind of got into the first gear and start going yet, and that's fine by me. I'm not in any rush to kind of be super amazingly successful or happy or anything like that. I'm happy that I am happy, but these things take time. I am in early days recovery, and I'm not worrying that it's not going to happen for me, because I know that if I keep doing what I'm doing, that it will, and that's always a good thing, because I'm still enjoying the day-to-day living, being mindful and everything that I'm kind of doing along the way, you know, meeting a lot of people in recovery, early days, and longevity. So you know, everything to me is just enjoyable, because I do take care in what I'm looking at, what I'm watching, you know, and just being mindful and aware of your surroundings and being in the here and now. Because you know, you can be focused too much on something way in the future, you know, a big promotion, or for me, when I get Colin the dog, or when I get myself my own little place to live, yeah, I could just sit as a hermit until then, but I'm not going to do that. You know, that you have to enjoy your life, because the end goal, what is that? You know, that's like where, you know, the big long darkness, isn't it? You know, well, who knows what it is, but anyway, that, you know, you can't just be focused on that. You got to be focused on the here and now, where we're at right now. And for me, it's been in my car doing a video for you guys, talking about where I am at, and I'll show you what my view is. So my view is just this little bit. I'll just turn them off. So we got some seagulls. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not an amazing day today. It is pissing it down, but I do love coming down here and just having a little look and sitting. So yeah, you know, that's where I'm at, and my life is good. You know, my life gets better as it does, as it goes along. But you know, you got to be mindful. You got to be careful. You got to be careful of people around you. You got to be, and I don't mean careful that they're going to do you over or whatever. I mean careful of their feelings. I talked about that last time. Careful of, you know, who you get involved with, and who you hurt, or who you know, might inadvertently upset. You know, your life is yours, but you've got to be mindful of everything, you know, and that doesn't just mean like taking in the pretty sights and things. It's got to be, you know, you got to look after yourself and everyone around you. And you know, I have taken a step back on what I'm doing, because I'm not in step 12, as I said. I try to help some people, but as I say, I can only show them the door. I'm just stepping through the threshold of the door myself, so it's not easy to be taking people under my wing and things like that. You know, I will help as far as I can, and doing the videos is great. You know, I've been told that they're helping people, and that's fantastic too. So but as I say, I've just got to be careful and careful about my own sobriety, my own journey, and so that's really all I'm going to say today. But yeah, I enjoy doing the videos in my car. It's quite cool. I might sit in the other seat one day just to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, thanks. You know, sorry about the attire, but working hard, and that's what I do. I've never been able to say that in my life, but I enjoy working hard now, because it's, you know, it's something I love, and it's my own business. So yeah. So I'm in a very lucky position, and I am happy. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, hit that little tick button, because you know, it's great. It's great to see who's enjoying it and who's. I'm still going to make them regardless, you know, even if it's just me that watches them when I publish them. But it's always good to get a little bit of feedback. So comment, like, subscribe, share. If you know anyone that's maybe struggling and they're been in a similar boat to me, but they're still in the early days, so let them listen to my dulcet tones and see if I can, you know, share some of my short pieces of wisdom that I've learned in the last 5 months. But yeah, it's good to be out of lockdown, and I hope you guys will be following suit soon. Hopefully our governments start to step up and do what they should be doing, because you know, that's literally what it is. They need to start taking ownership of themselves. Also, I just wanted to say that yeah, this is a wake-up call, this pandemic, and it really is, because not just for the world, the climate, the politics and all that, but for me, it was a wake-up call for me. You know, I'm not saying that I would be sober if it hadn't been for the pandemic, and I know 2020 was probably the worst year in the world ever for a lot of people, but it's the year that I got sober, so I've got to take that into consideration. You know, anyway, all the jazz. Love you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll be on the video again soon. Peace.